Sonic has once again got behind the wheel of a car, and it is the best game to feature 3D Sonic to come out in quite a few years. Team Sonic Racing is developed by Sumo Digital. If you don't know, they previously developed the Sonic All-Stars Racing and the All-Stars Racing Transformed games, which were honestly pretty damn brilliant. And once again, they've made a really brilliant car game. I feel a bit weird to call it a kart game for a few reasons. Number one, kart game will obviously make it synonymous with the Mario Kart series. And despite maybe looking at it on the surface, they aren't really the same games. I would consider Mario Kart as a fun party, and albeit unless you're playing at the very highest 200cc, it's a casual game. It's not a racing game. I think it's a party game, it's a fun game, it's a casual game. Team Sonic Racing is a racing game. And it demands a lot more precision, it demands a lot more skill, and it demands a lot more patience. And the patience comes in the form of difficulty, and in some ways, in some parts, difficulty spikes. However, for the most part, these difficulty spikes don't come in the main racing. It comes in the bonus things, like the one where you collect rings or drift between gates and defeat other enemies, although that last one is a bit easier than the others. And these are just bonuses that will earn you more stars and sort of help you unlock the next tier. And it does a great job actually of mixing things up, but it also does a great job of teaching you the perfect lines in racing. So when you want to move from normal to hard to expert, it's a great teaching mechanic. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think beyond, I guess, learning the track and the shortcuts, there's not a lot of mastering to do in Mario Kart, where here there's a lot to learn, down to the point of, like I said, you need to know the racing lines in order to excel at the harder difficulties. But why I found it hard to call this a kart game, but still feel like people might think it is the power-ups. I'll just be honest, the power-ups are awful. I don't really like them, don't really like any of them. But the big thing I haven't even got to yet is what makes Team Sonic Racing different to most other racing games, and that is, as the name would suggest of the game, it's Team Sonic, so you are in teams of 3. And this means that depending on the finishing position of the whole team, you may come first, but your teammates may come last and second last, meaning your team loses. And that can be kind of frustrating. However, it adds a lot of dynamism, I think I said that word right, to the overall experience. And it becomes a lot less about randomness and actually being able to work as a team. And the mechanic that really helps with that is sort of the slipstream. So if you're in the front of your group, you will leave a golden trail behind you in which your teammates can sort of get behind it and get a massive speed boost. And I guess the goal to, beyond actually learning all the lines, the racing lines, is you find a great way of the 3 of you to be able to slingshot between each other, where you go in front, then someone goes in front of you, then the other person goes in front of them, and then you go in front, and sort of cycles through that way is the best way to succeed, especially in the hardest difficulties and online. I think it's a brilliant mechanic. I think it works really well, and even though you may come first and then your AI teammates don't do so well and you've got to redo the race, it just changes every single race, to the point of it just being always enjoyable. And like I said, there's a single player component to it, which is pretty fun. The online I'm not the biggest fan of, but I still like the single player. But the core racing is just, I think, absolutely spot on. It's nailed down. It's just great. Like, there's not a lot of team-based racing games out there. There was Onrush, which unfortunately last year didn't really catch on in the way people may have hoped. But this is more standard racing, but in teams. Visually, the game looks pretty good. This is on PC, and didn't push my PC to its limits. I have an RTX 2080, and it ran kind of medium frequency, medium speeds, medium utilization, and that was at 4K 60. And it looks decent. It has a nice style, but I think it could have looked better maybe. But then again, this isn't exactly a game that's going to be trying to push graphics to its limits. It does the job. There's some nice areas, there's some remade tracks from previous games, and overall it is just probably the best racing game to have come out this year, along with, I would say, Dirt Rally 2, but they are very, very different games. So if you're looking for an arcade racing game that feels different and unique, actually look beyond, even if you're not a Sonic fan, look beyond that it's a Sonic game and appreciate and enjoy the core racing mechanics, because it's a ton of fun.